Hey guys, welcome back. I am Stu and this is Fungus Woods for Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic. We have done this scenario before. When I did it the first time, I did use advertising at the end of the game just to make sure we passed. This time I am going to smash it without advertising. Restricted to only older style wooden rides, your challenge is to build a thriving theme park in Fungus Woods. Your objective to have at least 2,500 guests in your park at the end of October year 4, the park rating of at least 600. Okay, so we're charging for admission. We've got transport rides. We've got some gentle rides down. A few basic coasters. No thrill rides. A couple of water rides. And a good selection of shops. And a cash machine. That's going to be quite critical, I think. Okay, so where's it gone? Where's the entrance? There it goes, down there. So start off then, you've got a very meandering path leading up to a carousel. We're not going to use that. I'm not going to delete it right away. I'll leave it there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spam a load of flat rides. We're going to put down a ton of mazes down at the bottom, ram the price up to £40. The mazes, I'll build enough of them to justify the £40, and then we can crack on building something a bit more interesting. April year 1, I've got a load of mazes down, a lot of single tile mazes, 14 of them in total. We need 10 gentle rides to qualify for the best gentle ride award. I've got a couple of sphinxes down as well, because I want to try and get guests to think that the scenery is great, because there is an award for best most beautiful park that we can try and win. So they come out of the exits and then they're all funneled down this way, all past the Sphinx. So hopefully that'll encourage a few more people to think the park's beautiful. And we've also got a toilet and info kiosk as well, just to get a bit more cash out of them. So now we've got that, and we can get the guests paying a decent amount of money. I've no entry signed the path leading up to the carousel. I'm going to start building down this way, building some stuff that's a bit more interesting than the mazes, and then I'm going to go straight into roller coasters. Initially, I did put my research onto gentle rides, but I've changed my mind now. I'm going to go on to roller coasters, try and get something more exciting than the ones that we've got. Still in April year 1, I've got a load of crooked houses just down there. Again, funneling the guests out through the exits, passing down through the sphinxes. This will help them. I mean, they might not be going on the ride now, but it will help bring more guests into the park. The more rides you've got, the more guests are going to start getting generated. So let's crack on. May year 1, another small module, got 6 little rowing boat rides. So that means we will be qualified for best water rides. Very, very simple design. Results haven't come back yet. Have they? No. 2.44. There you go. So we will get some guests going on them. Again, funneling the guests down past the sphinxes. You can see a couple stopping to look at them as well. I'll put some merchandise stalls down there as well. Let's have a look. What are we? Have we? No, I'm looking for a wild mouse. Once we get one of them, we can build something cheap and cheerful. So let's crack on. July year 1, we've got 370 guests in the park. I've got my first roller coaster down. Very simple wild mouse design. Decent stats on that. There is a tutorial for this one in the tutorial section. What I'm going to do now is I am going to build. I'm going to build 6 of these, so another 5 along, because you need to build them in order to qualify for best custom rides. And then once I've built the 6, then I'm just going to save the design and spam them all the way up. Yeah, see how many guests we can get in. So I'm going to have them coming down the exit path, down past the sphinxes. Again, you can see them all stopping to look. So that's what we want. We want as many as possible saying that we're thinking that it's a beautiful park in order to qualify for the Beautiful Park Award. October year 1, got a load of coasters all the way down. I've rejigged the exit. I've got them coming up this way now rather than down the bottom, because I didn't want the bottom being too crowded. A sphinx, a load of shops just along there, so we can boost out cash. I am having some issues with the stats on these coasters, and it's because the length of them is right on the cut-off point. You need to have a minimum length on these coasters, otherwise it will give you a start penalty. And because of the distance it's traveling down the station, there you go, see, because that car was in the way, it's not traveling the full distance, so it's registering a little bit less, a little bit shorter than what it is. So I'm going to have to extend it slightly, and then that should give us good stats. Junior 2, I've extended all of them, so we've got good stats on these. We've got 1,300, just under 1,400 guests in the park. Load of spiral slides up the top. I've put the queue lines a little bit longer than I normally would, just to soak up some extra guests. We're starting to get very, very overcrowded up here. So what I've done is I've come down the bottom here and I've whipped up a very narrow wooden coaster. Quite happy with this design, to be honest. I just tried something, not expecting the results to come back as well as they have. And yeah, I was quite surprised with how good the stats were. It was about 5 something without the pathing, and then adding the pathing in, that's giving it a nice boost. And it's designed to run in mirror mode as well, so we can have both of them together syncing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build them up. I think it was about 5,000-6,000, so it's not the cheapest, but we should be able to put one of these down every few weeks. October year 2, we need 2,500 guests. We've got just over 2,000. So I've now got, what have I got? 2, 4, 5 wooden coasters just along here. And what have we got? 16 wooden wild mouse that side. So I'm going to continue building all the way up here as and when we get the cash in. But we're doing all right. So we're only 500 to go and we're halfway through. So we should do this easily. October year 3, we've got a year to go. We've got just under 3,000 guests, so almost 500 more than what we need. Still very, very busy up here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run another path down the back of these down to the front in order to try and split a lot of the guests up. So other than that, we're not having any issues. I've built all my coasters now. I'm not going to need any more. Oh, actually, I've got space for one more just there. And then after that, then we'll have about 16 wooden coasters and 16 wild mouse. And that's more than enough. So I'm going to crack on with this path. And I'll see you in a bit. May year 4, so I've got my path all the way down the back. But that has caused an issue. You can see from my rating has tanked. So what's happened is they've come down here and now they're getting lost. So there's too many possible directions that they can go, too many junctions, and it's causing them to be confused. So you've got the queue lines here, you've got all the different bits of path because there's too wide pathing, plus you've got all these queue lines this side, the shops and things like that as well. So I'm just gonna delete one of them. There you go. So we should have a load of them left. That's fine. We'll get a load more coming into the park now. We've freed up some space, and the rating has shot back up already. There you go. So it's one of those little quirks, one of those pathfinding bugs that the guests have. There was too much choice on offer from, and it fried their tiny little minds. But yeah, 3,300 guests in the park. We only needed 2,500. First time we played it, we advertised. We haven't done it this time. We've just spammed rides, and I think maybe the mazes weren't such a good idea. I think, well, they were a good idea to begin with, but maybe I should have replaced them. But we don't need to anymore. So I'm going to crack on. I'll see you at the end. October year 4, only a couple of weeks to go until the end of the scenario. We needed 2,500 guests in the park. This time doing it through, we weren't going to advertise, and we haven't. And we've got just under 4,000 guests in the park. All we've done is spam rides. The more rides you've got, the more guests are going to be pushed into the park. So what I did first of all then is I put down a load of mazes just here. I've got the exits all joined together, funneling them down past the Sphinx to try and win most beautiful award. So we have won it once or twice. I've won the Dazzling Ride Colour Schemes Award, Safest Park Award. Won a few. One thing I don't believe I've won is Best Gentle Rides, which is amazing considering we've got all these mazes, all these crooked houses. We've won Best Water Rides thanks to these. All these spiral slides. You only need 10 for gentle rides, but I don't think I've won that, or at least I haven't noticed that. Once we got down here, then I was researching roller coasters. I built this wooden wild mine ride. Decent stats on it. There is a tutorial in the tutorial section for that. And then I built 6 of them in order to qualify for best custom rides. And then after that, then I just I saved the design and then just spammed them all the way up as and when we had the cash. Once we did that, then this ride was getting very, very crowded up this end of the park. So what's happening is they're coming off it and they want to go straight on the first one, because they don't understand that they're all the same. They just want to go on the first one that they see. So after that, then, in order to try and get rid of some of the crowds, I brought it down this one and built a very quick and simple 4-wide wooden coaster just here. Decent stats. Only running the one train. I have got a block break just up here, so we could run 2 very, very nicely, but I decided to only have the one just to soak up more guests in the paths, in the queues. I've also not bothered joining up all the exits as well, because I don't want to have the same overcrowding issue that we had the other end. That didn't really solve the overcrowding, to be honest. So what I did was, just down here, I put a fork in the path and then had the guests walking all the way down here using no entry signs to force them down past loads of sphinxes. It's this large scenery, trying to get the beautiful park. Loads of shops, cash machines, toilets, trying to win best toilets, and then down at the bottom as well. And oh, there you go, we've done over 4,000 guests. Fantastic. Only a few days to go then. Yeah, so happy with this. I think when I did it the first time, I did spend too much money on the rides and pathing and things like that. And I did have a massive wooden coaster at the end. I'm not sure if I had 2 racing ones or one Mobius. I'm not sure, but whatever it was way too much money for the park. Let's fast forward a bit. So with this wooden coaster, I might do a tutorial on this actually, because it's quite a nice little design. It's very compact. So it goes up. It's got the first drop, because with these you need to have 3 drops, and one of the drops needs to be a certain height. So there's the first drop. Then into the second drop. Path being used as a head chopper. Up. First turnaround. It's going slow, so you don't need to bank the turns. Another drop. S-bend. Bank turn. Around. S-bend. Another S-bend. And we've done it! Stew! And then back up to the station via a little chain lift. So it's not that hard to build. Again, I think it was about 5,000-6,000. Paths give it a massive boost, but it is a decent stats on it. Very good stats on it. So that's benefiting from the pathing boost, plus some of the trees around the place, plus synchronization boost with the coaster next door, and also having another ride so close to it. So that was Fungus Woods. Absolutely smashed it. I wanted to do it again without advertising, as we did the first time, and haven't had any issues with this at all. All we've done, we just kept building and kept building until we got to the point where we didn't need to build anymore. And even then, the guest numbers just kept on going up. Thanks in part to the awards and things like that we've been winning. So this was Fungus Woods. I am Stu. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.